a lot of people would pay thousands of dollars for a drop of sweat. Well, maybe not yet, but I mean, one guy in Cleveland offered to clean up my toilet. I just thought, you don't want to go that far, do you? In fact, I used to clean up toilets myself. I lived on the streets. I walked around the city all night, and from 6 o'clock in the morning, from 6 to 10, I used to go down to this bank, this basement floor. There was 11 toilets. Each had like 4 bowls in them, and I had to clean all the sinks and everything. And then I went to this office, and I cleaned the office tables. And since I was broken, I was living like a bum. I went through all the drawers, you know, and all those rich people, you know, they have a little change there always. So I took a couple of quarters here and there so I could go in and go to the store and pretend like I'm buying just an ice cream. In the meantime, I filled my jacket with all this chicken and beef and stuff so I could, you know. So you gotta survive sometime, you know. Living like a bum, you know, life ain't so easy.
So how'd you get into rock and roll?
Well, that's when I was getting, that's when I started. I became a shoplifter. It's the only way I could survive. But, you know, I left home, you know, and I was originally from Finland, you know. So I left home and I moved to Stockholm with Sammy, Alpha, and Nasty Suicide in Hanoi Rocks. You know, and, we lived on the streets, you know. Andy McCoy, the guitar player, lived with his girlfriend because he knew somebody that we didn't know any people. So 6 months we were on the streets. But that was part of the Hanoi thing was, you know, just the street vibe, you know. It just did something to the band. It made it more like certain vibe about it. And also when you live on the street like that, it's like you got nothing to lose, you know. You got nothing to lose, and you can only go up.
Yeah.
Only ways to go is up. In a way, it was the happiest time of our life. I had like 2 cardboard boxes with all my things I had. We were keeping them. The drummer at the time had a job, and he had like his closet, you know, where we used to keep our things. We used to go out there and change the clothes and stuff, you know. And then eventually we learned to know people, and we started sleeping on people's floors and stuff, and you know, it came together that way.
So that's how it started. So how did you get into recording?
Well, the thing was, before we left Finland, Andy and Sammy were in this punk band, this band called Pelle Miljoner. It's a Finnish band. It was so gold there, you know, they were pretty big there. So Andy had a good relationship with the record company, so they let us do the single. We used the studio drummer, and it was me, Sammy, Nasty, and Andy. We did this song called I Want You, and the other B-side was Kill City Kills. That was before we left Finland, so we were on the streets. I had a copy of the single. I went to this record store. And there was this guy, and he happened to know a guy in another record company called SOS in Sweden. And finally, after we got off the streets, there was this manager in Finland, the Finnish manager, the first Hanoi Rocks manager, who had originally said that he wanted to manage us, but then he disappeared, and we were just on the streets. And then I called him. I got a hold of him in Finland eventually, and he. Well, we started doing tours in Finland and stuff. You know, that's how we started playing gigs. And he finally hooked up with this guy. The guy from the record store played this took the single and he played it to the guy at the record company. And he, you know, he was interested. You know, so that sort of started the thing. You know, so I got us a deal.
How long ago was that?
That was 1980.
Oh, great.
You're gonna make an adjustment.
10 years ago. How time flies when you're not having fun. When you're miserable. No, I had a great time. I have nice, fun memories.
Yeah. What's your life?
I always want to be able to go back and clean toilets if I have to.
Keeps you humble that way.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
Your feet on the ground.
Absolutely.
No matter how many millions of records you sell, if you lose your soul, you lose yourself, it's not worth it. I think so.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. And we're going to be filming y'all tonight, too. You're going to be big in Japan, as they say. Because we're having a ball right here in Hollywood, right? Dreams behind while you were looking at me, homeless in the street. smugglers and the terrorists.
So, when did you start touring, like coming to the States and things, in Japan?
Japan, well, ooh, that was like around, what was it, 83 was the first time I went to Japan. That was 1983. And before that, we played a few tours in Finland for that year, 81. And then 82, we did our first album actually, 81 in Sweden. And then after that, we kept touring. We did some gigs in Sweden and stuff. And then eventually we went to England in 82 the first time. We did like some club dates there. And we went back to, we're based in Stockholm still in Scandinavia. And then we went back to England again in 83. We got a new drummer there. Oh, actually 82, 83. We got Rattle on drums, and it was the end of 82. Yeah, and then he joined us and we moved to London. We were based in London then. In spring 83, we went to Japan for the first time. Well, it was great. And
Why?
Well, because people are so nice and the equipment worked so great. Everything's so... Look at this thing. Jesus Christ. Oh, ain't that cute? Is he alive? First time we went to Japan was, it was like nothing. People were so genuinely nice. I mean, no bullshit. It was just like, they mean it, you know, and they give you so many nice presents and stuff that you can wear, actually. And stuff that, not stuff you pick up and say, and throw out. It's nice clothes and stuff, and we were just blown away, you know, and people were like, you know, everything works, everything's right on time, and you go on stage time, the equipment are high, best quality, you know, you can have, and everything just works great, and the audiences were wonderful, fantastic people. It's my favorite country to tour. So, and then we went back in 84, but 83 actually we did, 82 we did the second album, 83 we did the third album, Back to Mystery City. We started touring in the UK more than, we did long extensive tours in the UK, and band was building up. We recorded our fourth album in America, 84, beginning of 84. Before that we did, you know, that Christmas in 83. Before that we did the video for, at the Marquee in London, which was for whatchamacallit, for Japan. It was supposed to be originally, but then it ended up being a video everywhere, and it ended up being a live album. You know, we're doing a live album at the same time as we're doing pre-production for the last album, Two Steps from the Move. So we were busy, and basically that's. After that, we went to record Two Steps from the Move. We were doing that beginning of '84. We did a couple of months. It took like a couple of months to do that, actually, including all the pre-production and stuff, and we were still writing songs in the studio and stuff. And it came out, well, it was finished, you know, early spring, and came out shortly afterwards. And then we did a long tour in the UK and stuff. And then, only then, well, actually, after we finished the album, we came back. We did part of it in New York and finished it in Toronto. Bob Ezrin was producing Toronto, Bob, so Bob had his family there, so he wanted us to freeze our asses. It was cold. Ooh. And then,
hairdresser.
So then what happened was we came to America. Well, we were on the way back from the recording. So then we did some gigs in like Boston and stuff. And and then we did a couple of nights at the Danceteria in New York. And it was the first time we played in America. But then we came back to tour and later in '84 after we'd done some videos and TV appearances in the UK, and just skipping all this stuff. Because first tour we did like weird tours. We played in the Far East, we played Bangkok, we played in India, Bombay, and New Delhi, and we played Hong Kong. And, well, actually, that was the first time we went to Japan, '83. And then we played Israel at one point too, like 1 week. And we got deported from there. Well, lucky we didn't go to jail, you know.
Why?
Well, what happened was one night Razzle and Nasty were partying, you know, and I don't know why, but they decided to throw a chair on the table out the window, and you know, that stupid stuff. And it landed on a cab, or it was like a Mercedes downstairs. It landed on the roof, went right through the roof, and the guy flipped out because the owner of the car was standing right next to him. He was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And threw the car around the corner and he ran to the hotel and said, there's missiles flying here. And he said, then he came to the hotel manager and he said, look, there's missiles flying here. What's going on? It's just crazy. Some lunatics up there. And it's just, so he woke up the hotel manager who took a bathrobe and he was barefoot. He was knocking on the door. Nobody heard. And just there was music. They were all going, yeah, partying. And the music was loud. And so then he finally opened the door with his own key, and he came in and stepped on all this broken glass was on the floor. So I stepped on it, and first it was like, ow! And Nasty, he had a cast on his leg, because he broke his leg before the tour. He broke his leg falling downstairs, falling down the stairs drunk in some club in London before the tour. So he was on crutches. So the guy comes in and steps on the broken glass. He goes, ouch! And Nasty goes, hey, who the fuck are you? And banged him on the head with a crutch. He went like that. There's a guy called the cops. And then, obviously, they want to throw us in jail, Well, let me just finish the story.
Okay,
First, when we came to America for the first time, to the first official tour, we ended up tragically. And halfway through the tour, I broke my ankle in one gig in Syracuse. We did 4 more gigs. I was on crutches. And then it was getting so painful, and I was doing damage on myself, permanent damage. So I stopped. I went to a hospital, and they put a cast on it. First time they didn't put a cast on it. So this time they said, you got to take a week off, otherwise you ruin your ankle. So I said, okay. And the managers, instead of canceling the rest of the tour and going back to England, we wanted to go on. So we came here to LA to do some press, because we heard we had a big following here. And the next day, our drummer got killed in a car accident. So that was the end of the band. Santa was a very special band, and it was an entity unto itself, and none of the usual rules applied. And without Razzle, it wasn't the same. And then Sammy Yaffa, the bass player, left shortly after that. So that was the end of story. Now it's a legend. So now, after 5 years later, I've recovered, and here I am, alive and well, and doing what I'm supposed to be doing after going nuts for 5 years and trying to get back on my feet. I basically had to start all over, but now I got a wonderful band that I thank God for. Praise God! Praise the Lord Jesus! My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord! I have these guys, and Paul Garisto on drums was a killer drummer. He's the best drummer around, really. He's the best drummer I've heard. He's like a powerhouse. He plays like an animal, So, and he's really a great, all nice guys. Paul Garisto, he played with Iggy Pop on the last album. He was on Iggy Pop's last tour. I believe he was in Japan too. And on bass I have a guy called JD Mallow, who played with a band called Smashed Gladys from New York. And he's a great bass player too. These guys I'm going to stay with for a long time. And John Sierra and Johnny Angel on guitars, who are wonderful people and great musicians. And this band kicks ass, like they say, or kick butt, whatever they say in America. So I'm very happy with this band. This is a killer band, and they really are nice guys too. You don't have to be party animals 24 hours and kill yourself and OD and throw stuff out the window to be a rock star. You know, I mean that's cliche, that's dated. You know, and it's not cool. You know, and you know it's not this same old sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's a cliche. I mean nowadays it's more like dead, jail, or rock and roll, right?
Hey! B! How's it going? How you doing, man? All right, all right. Professional, eh? Kids, don't try this at home, please. Thank you! Ta-da! Now watch this. Now watch this.
Típico, no, what is it? Simpático, man.
Yeah! Yeah! Oh, look at this.
I think I need a bump. Look at that. Look at the nail, man. What the fuck? That's because I play so hard. Look at this.
He's one of those
Because I play so hard that I don't even know what I'm doing.
He escaped from the Devil's Island in Guyana, man, with Papillon, man.
Oh no, man!
Man.
I'm exposed.
Hey, your fingers starting to fall off like Mr. Luther.
Every night.